guys? So today I've got this old timer knife, this Schrade Sharp finger, also known as a 152. This is a smaller version. We've got the larger version in this household as well. They're really cool knives. I always liked them. This one has seen better days. It's pretty well used and abused, and somebody's definitely hit it with a grinder at some point in time. And the sheath is also pretty rough looking. It does still hold it in, but yeah, we got stitches coming loose, and I'm not really sure how they deem that acceptable from the beginning. But anyway, I'm gonna make a new sheath for it. Today this video is going to show you how I make the pattern to make the new sheath, and then the sheath making video will come after that. I'm going to do it a little more like the current, like the newer style sheaths that come with this, because you can still buy this knife. They're just made in China these days, or Taiwan, or wherever. But the strap goes over here like this instead of like that, so I think that's what I'm going to do. So, in order to make the pattern, you could cut this if you really like the way this looks. You could cut the stitches out and unfold it and just copy this exact thing if you like it. I'm going to make it a little different. So let's get rid of this guy and let's get started. So we got the knife. Make sure it's unloaded. Kidding, needs to make in holsters. I got a folder here. I'm going to leave it open because we're going to need more room for this part. You'll see how it flips over. So start off by tracing the knife. There we go. One sharp finger template. Now we kind of want to know where this piece is here. Just so we know where like our handle starts, our blade ends. So now let's go. What do we say? Like 3/8 of an inch from the edge. Just gonna make some marks here. I'm going to go straight up this side. I'm not going to follow the curve of the blade, unlike the old holster sheath used to do. So now I got that all around there. So this is going to be the outside edge of our knife. There's going to be a welt included in here as well. So just kind of draw a rough little knife shape, what we're going to want it to look like. Connect the dots basically. Now our stitch line is going to go about 1/8 of an inch in from the outside. Just so we know. Boom, that's going to be about here. I have a stitch groover, so it'll go all the way around, but that'll be the 1/8 of an inch mark that goes around the entirety of the knife, so we know, you know, just about where our stitch line is going to be. Let's go ahead and fill that in the rest of the way. Okay, so now we have our pencil sharpened and we have a stitch line and an outside line. What we shall do now is draw the body of the holster and what we're, body of the sheath and what we're going to want it to look like. So that's where the handle goes. I want mine to come up, you know, cover the blade all the way. I'm thinking something to kind of follow those lines, you know, of the knife. Something like that. And you round these edges up. That's why we do it in pencil, so we could change our minds. Looks pretty good. I like that. So this will be this part of the knife there. Now let's draw the rest of it. Okay, so I got my drawing done here. As you guys can see how I want the sheath to go. So this is why I left this long and open here. So you see this old sheath, the way it was designed, you have this bottom piece here that goes around. You got a long piece up front, it's going to fold around, and it goes inside here and probably makes a little welt or something or other, but it makes it to where it's smooth on the inside too. This is obviously rough on the inside, but that's how I kind of want to do this one too. So what you're essentially going to be doing is flipping this pattern over and retracing it, so you're going to have a mirror of a pattern. So I'm going to do that real quick. I'm going to show you what I mean. I think it's going to be easier to show you what it looks like when it's done than try to explain it. Okay, so I cut it out. Can you see that? So I cut it out and flipped it over and traced it, and now we're going to cut this side out. So this is where things get a little tricky, but stick with me here. So I took the X-Acto and I cut out basically around the shape of the blade. I would have probably cut a little closer, but you know, this first one of these are done, so see, but there'll be plenty of room in there for the knife to sit inside. Do you see that? That's going to create an extra layer of leather, and it's going to create a welt. So when your stitch line goes through there, your actual blade itself is not going to be rubbing up against the stitches. It'll rub up against another little layer of leather. So what I did is I also traced this top piece here, because this is going to be the front of the knife, like so. Is it making sense now, people? This will get stitched together. We'll have a nice belt loop right here. It will look similar to this one, but a little different. Like I said, instead of having this coming through here like that with a rivet, it's going to have a strap right here that's going to clip over top of the knife blade. It's going to look something like this. So basically your knife sits in here like this. See it inside there, happy as can be. That's going to be your front cover, this piece right here. And then this strap is going to come here. The knife will not flop around in the sheath. And it's going to clamp on the top like so. You want it as close to this notch as possible so it doesn't have any room to move. If you put it way up here, then that knife can come out. So keep it as close to here as possible. Make sure you cut this. Give yourself plenty of length for this so you can adjust it, because the leather is always thicker than paper. So you're going to want to give yourself plenty of room. It's easier to cut a little bit off than it is to realize that your strap's not long enough and you got to make another one. So what that's going to be is riveted in between the layer here. So so you'll need to do that. First, before you glue it together, you could rivet or stitch. I'll probably throw a few stitches in there. Just like that, and you have a knife sheath pattern. So the knife goes in, snaps like this, and then there's your belt loop where your belt will go through. And it's sunny times and you've made yourself a pattern for a knife sheath, for a knife. And this can work for any knives. Mess around with sizes and different welt lengths and things like that. You could do there's also another style you could do where you you make a separate welt that's cut off and it glues on. And you flip this piece over so it looks like the rough end of the knife is, the rough end of the leather is exposed and it flips over and you sew it on the back to make a loop. That's another great way to make a holster. This is the way I'm going to make it today. So stay tuned for the next video where we're actually making this holster from this pattern. If you like what you saw today, go ahead and subscribe. Leave a comment. Share with your friends. Visit my website at mstoutdoors.com. Thanks for watching.